That's what I'm looking for. So some thin pieces that'll go at the bottom of the canoe, between the ribs and the bark. Built this small little bath where I can put water in and then have my ribs underwater. So I got 5 done right now, and just use a bunch of 2x6s and then the tarp. Okay, so basically what I'm aiming for is something like this or like that. So I want about 2 inches wide in the center and narrowing down to the last feet. And then for the thickness, I want about 3 inch, not 3 inches, but 3/8 of an inch. So a little bit less than a centimeter thick. And yeah, so like you saw, I'll show you, I started from a tree trunk that I split in quarters or eighths, and then you get pieces. So you get rough pieces that look like this. And then you shave them down, either crooked knife, draw knife, and then you shave them all the way down to something that looks like that. So it's a lot of work to shave these down, like you can see. So these are the ones that I have that I'm working on so far. So I need 20 total for the whole canoe, but as I bend them, I'll probably break a few. So I want a buffer. So I'll probably get like 25, 30 just to be on the safe side. And yeah, let's start shaving down. I use for this step for tools, I use this right here. I use my crooked knife and then the draw knife as well to shave these down. Now ideally, I should have had all these done in advance before I gathered the bark, so that I don't lose any time. I can just build the canoe and assemble the canoe. But I needed my father-in-law's help to gather the bark. So we did that while he was still here visiting in Alberta. He was visiting for the summer. So we did that together, and I wasn't quite finished shaving these boards down, but that's fine. Shave them down today. This makes for the best tinder for fire lighting. Very very thin pieces of wood, very dry, burns like crazy. Some people might be wondering, why don't you just buy a bunch of planks that are sawed already the perfect size and the perfect thickness? I could do that, but I have a lot more loss when I try to bend them to get the rib shape, because when you bend them and they're sawed, the wood doesn't follow the same grain of the wood as it would like now when it's split. But it's a lot more time consuming for sure. But traditionally, that's how they would do it, because they wouldn't have any saws or anything, so they'd split the logs with wedges, either wooden wedges or axe heads, like I did. Old axe head with the hammer, and then this would be done as well by First Nations without metal tools, so with rock wedges, things like that. I haven't personally done one yet, like all with stone tools. I use metal tools, but it'd be an awesome project to try. The final product wouldn't be as nice, as symmetrical, but I think I could do something that would float. But yeah, we'd have to try someday. There you go. Got another one done. Alright guys, so as you can see, the pile right here is diminishing, so I'm making some good progress. This is day 2. I haven't filmed since yesterday. I worked about 3-4 hours yesterday and then 3-4 hours today. And this would be rib number 17 finished. So let's go put it in the water and then I'll be off to the next one. So I got, how many here? So what they look like: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, yeah. And then this is just for the ends of the canoe. These gotta stay in the water for a good week. And then I'll use boiling water to help me bend them to the right shape. ones for the end of the canoe are the most tricky ones. So I just put it right in the pot, and I'm gonna try to tighten it more that way. See how tight we can get it. The last thing I want to hear is a crack. Okay, so as you can see guys, I got all my ribs in the canoe in the right shape that they need to be. So some of these on this side have been drying up for 3 days now. So we'll do a little test and take them out. If it doesn't move too much, that means it's dry. So it seems to be, yeah, it's staying in its shape. So that's good. That means it's nice and dry. And I can take them out now. And then I want to take these out because what I want to do is I want to start gumming and sealing the inside holes of the canoe. So once I get all these ribs out, then I'll be able to look at my bark and then fill the holes. I got my gum ready to go. We'll heat it up and filter it. I'll show you guys what the process is for filtering, and add some grease in it, get it to the right consistency, and then yeah, be good to apply it everywhere. And then also I numbered them all, so this is number 3, 4. This will be number 5 here. Got number 6, number 7, number 8, and then number 9 at the front. So that way, even if they're outside of the canoe, I'll know where they go. See, I did a little diagram here so that I remember. And then also, I'm missing a few ribs, so I still need to do 2 number 2s. I need to bend and shape some for this area here, which is number 2, and then I need another one for the front. I got one at that end, but those are the really tricky ones because it's a really tight, sharp bend, so I gotta make another one yet. Take these out. Alright, what's up guys? Beautiful day today. Today is a big day. I'm going to try to put the sheathing and the ribs inside the canoe without breaking everything. And yeah, I say without breaking because if there's too much tension on the ribs pushing on the bark, then I could damage my bark and I could damage the whole thing. So I think I have enough sheathing here. This is what I have. We'll see what happens, I guess. Let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 12 in this bundle. I'll put it on this side here. 1, 2, 3. Got 15 in this bundle. 22 in this bundle. I got 7 small pieces. Okay, so I have a total of 47 sheathing. So hopefully that's enough. Now to put the sheathing in, this is my plan. So this is the front of the canoe. Well, let's draw the whole canoe. The point, I have to make it a sharp point for the first sheathing that goes in. And then the rest of the front ones will be just straight and they'll overlap just like that on this side. And then they'll overlap just like that on this side and so on and so forth. So I think I need about 15, I think I need about 45, because if I need 15 for this area, I'll need 15 for this area, 15 here, and then 15 of this. So I should be pretty good. Hopefully everything works out. Now, what I have to do is I have to get all my ribs in a wedge shape. So this is what I mean by a wedge shape.
Okay.
Allez, papy. just like making a shingle roof. So with the one temporary rib, it helps hold my sheathing where it has to go. So I place it, and then I'll put a bunch of water, make the bark pliable, and then I'll insert the first rib on this side. Take the end of this board out because I don't want to have any major bumps, and there's a few layers overlapping. So take that piece out, replace it with this piece. This one's a lot nicer. Cut it here, slide it under. Alright guys, here's the upside down canoe. Pretty much finished. I have 16 ribs inside. I'm aiming for 18, so I'm actually missing 2. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough ribs and I broke a couple. But man, it was so much work putting those in, I couldn't film the whole process. It took me the first day 9 hours, and then the second day I worked 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah, it took me a long time, but I think it's just one of those skills that the first few times you do it, it takes you a lot of time, but then you gain speed as you go. But got it done. The bark didn't explode, and I'm gonna put the gum on the outside right now. So I got my gum ready to go. Start gumming this bad boy, and then we'll be ready to go put it in the water. I have another rib that I'm going to build and try to put it in, but then I'll add maybe another one after when I do another batch of ribs. But this thing's solid. I'm sure I can go in the water with it, no problem. So we'll gum it. It's been drying for a few days, so we'll gum it and then be ready to try it in the water. Gum gum is still a little bit too warm, I'll let it cool down. Then I can apply it, because when it's too cool, it's kind of like water. It drips all over the place, but once I let it solidify a little bit, it stays on the stick a lot better. I really did a good job of gumming the inside. You can see right here and right there, all the holes are already very, very waterproof. Just with the gravity of having the canoe right side up, putting the gum, it went all inside the holes, which is awesome. I really got to take my time, make sure that I don't forget any holes. So after putting the ribs in, I had to let the canoe dry for about 4 or 5 days just to make sure that it was 100% dry, because you can't gum the canoe with the bark being wet. It doesn't really stick as well. The water and the moisture kind of makes a barrier, and the gum doesn't stick that good. Yeah, I want it about the consistency of maple taffy. Don't know if you've ever ate maple taffy, so good. So you want it not too warm, not too cold. And see, just by licking your finger or dipping your finger in water, you're able to spread it without getting your thumb necessarily all gummed up. Special thanks to Caesar's video on making a bark canoe. Caesar and his bark canoe for this trick. I think this is good knowledge, even if you don't build your own canoe. It's good to know how to repair one, so that if you ever have a birch bark canoe, you can repair your own canoe. So satisfying just to be at the end and patch all the holes. I feel it's a really good method to filter a big batch of spruce gum, and then I can have it just solidify or dry up inside the pan with the right amount of grease in it, And once it solidifies, it just stays in there. And then, of course, you can't use the pan for something else, but then it solidifies, and then you can carry it around like that, no problem. And I'm sure the voyageurs or even the First Nations did that, had a designated pot with just their repair resin, and they'd carry it around with their repair kit. So they'd probably have some pieces of cloth to filter, and then they'd have a batch already pre-made, and then of course they'd have grease or fat of some sort, either butter or lard. So they wouldn't have, every time like they'd stop somewhere and have like a broken canoe or a leak, then like say they're not in a good spot for spruce gum, they'd always have at least a little bit to get fixed. And it's a lot quicker to have it on hand than to start looking for it in the bush. And I'm sure people historically were smart and would be prepared and would have the right materials and the right equipment to be able to repair their canoes in a heartbeat.